Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News Daybreak at 6.
We're following some breaking news for you on your morning drive. Part of a busy road in Myers Park is now shut down, and here's the reason. There's a large tree all the way across that road. Look at this thing here. This is a live look from Queens Road right near Granville Road, and that is a massive tree. It's taller than that the sign for the street sign there. It's even taller than that as it's lying on its side. Traffic Team 9's Mark Taylor will have the alternate routes for you just ahead as we ask for a timeline for the cleanup, but you can bet it's going to be a while. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm John Paul.
And I'm Brittany Johnson. We'll also have school closures and delays to tell you about. Here they are on your screen. We've got Avery and Watauga County schools closed. Ashe and Alexander counties are on a 2-hour delay, along with Iredell, Statesville, and Mooresville graded schools. Meteorologist Keith Monday joins us with a look at your forecast, and for some folks, could be some slick spots out there.
Yeah, some minor slick travel will be an issue. The bigger issue, though, for everybody is going to be the fog. A dense fog advisory right across the heart of the area until 8 o'clock this morning as the visibility numbers have tanked to less than a mile in many spots from Chester, Rock Hill, Gastonia, all the way north into Statesville. It gets better in the foothills, better southeast, but even southeast, you may see more of the fog settling in before the morning is done. Now, we're at 38 in Charlotte, but there's a little window here of icy potential between the Statesville to Lincoln and Shelby. That's why you've got some of those school delays up north in Iredell County. Nothing widespread being reported, but some minor slick travel. Then for the mountains, where you're a little further below freezing after a little bit of light snow last night, that's wrapped up now. That's where you could find some more slick travel out there. So be cautious area-wide for multiple issues. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s this morning with the fog clearing out as the morning goes on. Ahead we'll talk about, yes, another rain chance that's coming our way as we head through this week. Now let's get you out to the breaking traffic news this morning. Mark's got a big alternate route here.
Yeah, south to the south down in Myers Park is where we're looking. Come take a look at this massive tree in Queens Road West right now. It's completely blocking the westbound lanes at Norton Road. Massive tree. When we got the update from CMPD, they're telling us there is no ETA, but the tree service has been called. They do expect this to be an issue for the morning rush. So let's set this up on the map. Let's show you how we're going to get around this. So it's the westbound lanes at Norton Road. It's just up from South Kings Drive at East Boulevard. You've got one lane open eastbound, so that's not a big delay or heading outbound, but it's westbound or inbound using Hopedale over towards South Kings as the detour. We're also dealing with malfunctioning railroad crossing arms. It has Rosl's Ferry blocked at Honeywood Avenue. This is just past 85 here using Brookshire as the detour around it. Other than that, very foggy conditions to deal with, but no big issues for the interstates, including 85, 485 from the west, and I-77 coming out of Cornelius and Huntersville this morning. Brittany.
Breaking news in South Charlotte, where in just the last 15 minutes, Ballantyne Commons Parkway reopened after a car hit a pole and left power lines all across the road. This is right across the street from J.M. Robinson Middle School. You can see the massive scene there. Channel 9 brought you the first live pictures at 4:30 as those power lines right there blocked the road in both directions for several hours. But again, they just reopened about 15 minutes ago, and police do tell us they have charged the driver in the car you see being pulled onto that truck bed. They were charged with DWI. Right now, we were asking police for that driver's name. Tonight, you can learn about plans to ease traffic during rush hour for thousands of drivers in Huntersville. It involves a complicated traffic pattern called a split diamond.
Eyewitness News reporter Gina Esposito is live right along Samfur Road near I-77 to break this down for us.
The proposed plan will impact thousands of drivers here in Huntersville. It adds to widen Samfur Road here and add more access points to I-77. NCDOT calling this a split diamond configuration, and this is how it will work. Just north of Samfur, a bridge would be built over I-77 with roundabouts at each end that would tie into the on-off ramps and connect to Caldwell Creek Drive. Again, lanes would be added to widen Samfur Road. Another bridge would be built south of Samfur that would also connect to the 77 off-ramp and include a roundabout. Those ramps would be connected to Statesville Road and North Cross Drive. NCDOT says the purpose of the project is to improve access and help reduce congestion. There is a public hearing on this project tonight from 4 to 7 at Meadow Lake Church. Construction is expected to start here in 2020. In Huntersville, I'm Gina Esposito, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Now, we know this is pretty confusing, so we did post a link with an explainer at WSOCTV.com so you can take a look at it for yourself. The story is on the homepage.
The time is now 6:03. New this morning, firefighters are trying to figure out what caused this fire in Gastonia. The 1,200 square foot garage caught fire on Patrick Road near Scott Drive late last night. Look at this. Even though we were kept a little ways back from that scene, you can see the flames and the fire burning as firefighters tried to get it under control. It took them 2 hours to get that fire out. Breaking overnight, we've learned one person died in a York County crash. Troopers say a car collided with a truck on Rambo Road near Rock Hill around 9 o'clock last night. The driver of the car died. 2 children in the car had minor injuries, but they're expected to be okay. The driver of the truck was not hurt. The cause of this crash is still under investigation.
Today, trial is scheduled to begin for a man accused in a North Charlotte murder. Investigators say Timothy Crumity shot and killed Michael Gretzinger in an apartment on Chestnut Place Drive in August 2016. He's also accused of shooting and injuring Kimberly Cherry at that same scene. Now, we followed Crumity's past for 13 years. He was charged in 2005 with murdering a former business partner. He spent 5 years in prison, but charges were later dropped for lack of evidence. In 2013, Crumity shot and killed James Blanks. He claimed self-defense, saying that Blanks broke into his home and killed his wife. In 2014, Crumity pleaded guilty to insurance fraud after setting his house on fire.
This morning, police are trying to figure out who could be behind 2 sex assaults, one on UNC Charlotte's campus and another at a nearby apartment. University police said that a man was able to get inside of a residence hall in the Greek Village yesterday morning. They say he touched a woman inappropriately and made lewd comments. He then ran off before police could catch him. Yesterday afternoon, CMPD says a man fondled someone inside of the University Crossing apartments. UNC Charlotte students are concerned.
It's so convenient for anyone to just come on, and then students are oblivious, so they can let anyone in.
Investigators are working together to figure out if the same man is behind both assaults and then catch him.
Right now, 6:06 overnight, Eagles fans packed the streets in downtown Philadelphia. Look at this here, celebrating the team's first ever Super Bowl win.
Way overdue. We got it. Eagles!
They had some fun there. This is a look from a helicopter. The crowds, massive crowds there in a city that's known for rowdy celebrations. The game itself was a high-scoring one. Came down to the last minute. Highlight for the first half, though, was a trick play on the 4th down. Eagles quarterback Nick Foles moved out from under center and caught a touchdown pass from tight end Trey Burton. These are the other highlights there. The Patriots took the lead for the first time in the 4th quarter right there. Eagles came back, though, with a touchdown pass to Zach Ertz, winning it 41-33. Foles, who started the season as the backup quarterback, finished as MVP. A couple years ago, he even thought about getting out of the NFL.
I'm grateful that I made the decision to come back here and play. I wouldn't be out here without God, without Jesus in my life.
The Super Bowl set several records, too, including the most combined total yards at 1,151.
This morning, investigators will be back on the scene of the deadly Amtrak crash near Columbia. We brought you breaking news yesterday morning when 2 people died and more than 100 others were hurt. Eyewitness News anchor Blaine Tollison joins us now with the top priorities for investigators right now.
You can see the damage from the scene in this video. It's pretty catastrophic. Right now, investigators are focused on collecting evidence there and interviewing the CSX crew and dispatchers. They're going to use that information to later determine the exact cause and who or what may be at fault. Investigators have already said a switch on the track forced the Amtrak train to go the wrong side and crashed into a CSX freight train. Amtrak officials say that some signals weren't working in the area and CSX was in charge of those tracks and the train traffic. The Amtrak conductor and engineer died. 116 people on the train were rushed to hospitals. Survivors, they described some panic there on that scene.
The impact was bad, man. It ripped my chair right off the floor. The lady next to me was an elderly woman. She was all tangled up in the chair in front of her.
Channel 9 was in South Carolina as survivors and family members reunited at a shelter You can hear from them coming up at 6:30, Brittany.
Breaking overnight, police arrested 4 suspects in connection to an armed robbery at a motel. They say the 4 suspects forced their way into a man's room at the America's Best Value Inn along Nations Ford Road yesterday. They're accused of robbing him and another man at gunpoint. The victims were not hurt. We checked overnight and police are still looking for a missing Charlotte man who may be in danger. We want you to take a look at your screens right now. Police say Corey Hovis left his home on J.M. Keynes Drive in University City around 7:30 Saturday night. Hovis hasn't returned home or contacted any family or friends. They told police that is not like him. Hovis was last seen wearing a black hooded jacket. If you know where he is, call police.
6:09 and new this hour, Wells Fargo fake account scandal could cost the bank $400 million in profits this year. USA Today reports the bank made that estimate after the Federal Reserve restricted the bank's financial growth. That restriction was part of a consent order that came down just on Friday. It means the bank cannot be involved in any major transactions or mergers. Wells Fargo also must replace 4 of its 16 board members by the end of this year. In 2016, we learned that Wells Fargo employees opened more than 3 million fake accounts in customers' names. The workers were trying to meet sales quotas.
Breaking overnight, in just the last 30 minutes, the Iraqi government has confirmed American troops have started to draw down from Iraq after defeating ISIS. Contractors at a U.S. coalition base said overnight that dozens of soldiers, along with their weapons and equipment, have left on daily flights over the past week. This is the first time troops have drawn down in Iraq since the war against ISIS began more than 3 years ago. Your time is now 6:10. We have weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
Well, let's get to meteorologist Keith Monday out there for us, and it's going to be some fog that we run into this morning. How long will that stick around?
Another couple of hours still. Otherwise, other than the fog, I mean, it's dry. All the rain we had yesterday is long gone. There are still a few spots in the mountains that we're focusing on. A few flurries are passing through. No additional accumulation, but you did have some light accumulation overnight last night. And that's what's leading to the very slick travel on the high country this morning. You're going to find some icy and snowy roads up there once again. Our fog is going to be the story, though. It's going to slow you down here in the next 10 minutes. We'll show you the future cast, how long it takes for that to clear up. And we'll track that next rain shot coming our way later into this week. Now let's get you back out to the big traffic news this morning. Already several issues, Mark.
Yeah, including that tree down in the roadway down in Myers Park, completely blocking the westbound lanes. It looks sort of ominous against the fog that we're dealing with in the background as well. So that's also playing a factor in your ride in this morning. So what we're looking at is Queens Road West heading westbound at Norton Avenue. It's just up from South Kings Drive and East Boulevard. This is going to be a problem most of the morning, unfortunately. Let me show you where this is. So here's Queens Road West, here's Norton Road, right at the intersection, using Hopedale over to South Kings Drive, approaching East Boulevard. You'll get around that closure.